Hey, welcome everyone. My name is JR, and I'm the founder and owner of Business Leaders Network, where our mission is to build a community of emotionally intelligent servant leaders through education, visibility, and community. And one way that we help our members gain visibility is by doing roundtables or private interviews or something that we can do to help get more their name, their brand, and their awesome impact that they're making in the world out to you guys. And so today we have a special guest, Mr. Michael Fritz, who we call Mr. Fritz. And we are here to talk about everything that he's doing and what he's doing to make an impact into the world. And I would love for you guys to take some time to learn more about who he is, what he's doing, and how he can serve you. So, Michael, thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of weird having you up on here because you are a big player in our team within Business Leaders Network and part of our team. You help facilitate calls, you help with the growth. I mean, you've been with us for what, 5, 6 years now.
So I think it's
And
6 years, man. Yeah, long time.
yeah, so there's definitely commitment, and I love that, and I don't take that lightly. And I'm so glad that you're part of our community, and not just that, you became a really good friend of mine and your family, and just love seeing what you guys doing. So let's start out with the very first question. Why don't you tell our audience more about who you are, what you do, and what inspired you to get started doing what you do?
Yeah. So who I am is I'm a husband, a father, Christian, follower of Christ. We live in St. Louis. I'm a lifer. I'm 45 years old. I've been here my whole life, and I'm a business owner. I know it's like you used to live here. We got everything you need, bro. Why'd you move away? But what really got me started, honestly, was cancer. So I had no plans on being an entrepreneur until 2012 was the warning shot. And I came through it fine, didn't have to have any treatments or radiation or anything. But that was the warning shot I needed to say, hey, you do not have your priorities set straight, Fritz. You're putting your career, this full-time employment above your family, even above God. Sometimes I was missing things, and that was what I knew I needed to make a change. I started getting into contracting and consulting, and then in 2015 I launched a tech business, and 2021 is when I shut that tech business down, but I pulled the podcasting piece out of it. I was like stapling all kinds of things to it during COVID to try to keep it afloat. And I eventually just said, you know what? It'd be really cool to pull just the podcasting piece out and turn it into its own business. And when I said that out loud, there was a heaviness that came over the conversation. I'm like, well, now I got to do it. I can't not do it. So I'm going to see what happens. I started Podcastify Me back in late 2021, and it was a podcast production company, but now I've pivoted to an area that I was kind of avoiding for a while. And it was getting people booked on shows. I had more and more people say, can you get me booked on shows? And I'm like, no, I don't do that because I didn't want the stigma of, hey, I don't want to just get you booked on shows. Like that's not a complete solution, but hanging around with you, actually, you inspired me. It's your fault, JR. Led me to realize, well, the actual problem they want solved is they want more business. It's not that they want more visibility, it's that they want more leads. How do you use being a podcast guest to get leads? And then, wonder of wonders, all of the nerdy tech stuff that's been riding around in my brain rent free came to the forefront. And I've been designing systems to line those up, lickety split. So, yeah, generating leads off of guesting on podcasts and overcoming the mindset that keeps people away from selling as powerfully as they really oughta. So, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, you know what? It's been really cool watching your growth over the years and just seeing how much you came in as a complete mess. And I have to be honest, I was like, oh man, this guy has a lot to overcome in regards to being an entrepreneur. But man, you're doing
Yeah.
it. I mean, you're crushing it now, and you're making an impact, and you finally are so clear on your messaging. One of your superpowers is you are a storyteller, which fits perfect as being with podcasting and stuff like that because you're great at delivering a message. You're great at turning something into a story that helps resonate with people, so that way they feel connected, and it's really good. And it's been heartwarming for me to really see how much you have grown over the years. Why don't you share more about one of your client success stories? Where were they at when they started with you? What did you help them achieve?
Well, one of my most recent clients is Stephanie Lewis, and she's actually pretty close. I think she lives not in DC proper by you, but close enough that she's like, "Ah, I could drive there if I needed to." And when we started working together, she actually knew me for a couple years, and she's been in some of the BLN calls like years ago. But she's like, I'm going to be working with Fritz someday. I don't know when, I don't know how or why, but I feel like we're going to be working together. And so about 6 months ago, she was here in St. Louis. Her and her husband Howard were actually on an RV trip, and they were coming through St. Louis. I'm like, oh my goodness, we got to stop and get some coffee because she was like, oh, you live in St. Louis. Let's get together. So we sat down, we had a cup of coffee, and we were just asking questions about business and things like that. And I found out that one of the things that she has had happen with her and her business, so she has autism and she has ADHD, and she's very much on the spectrum. And she's like, I want to build this business which helps me impact the lives of other people, but I don't know how to like communicate that. Like I always have trouble communicating. And she's like, I want to guest on podcasts and get more people aware of what I'm doing. And I said, I can totally help you with that. So I went through one of her sessions first. It was like a 2 hour session, and it worked incredibly well. Like she has an art form that helps you generate new neural pathways. So if you have blocks and stuff, you can just draw your way out of it, and it works incredibly well. And so the success story for her is she has gone from being kind of like real, like not timid, but just not clear to now she's growing her own paid group. And she told me, hey, I've got 2 people in my group now. It's a $47 a month group. But that is a huge leap from where she was before. Like she was really not confident in this regard. And I'm like, well, let's get confident. I mean, you're doing some really awesome stuff. I'm testament to that. You can absolutely sell it. There are people out there that are willing to pay good money to have access to this knowledge. You got to believe that about yourself. And so I tell people I have the spiritual gift of encouragement. I think you know that about me. But anytime somebody's down, anytime somebody's like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm capable. Oh my goodness, who do I think I am? Imposter, imposter. And it's like, no, listen, follower of Christ or not, you're made in God's image and you have massive creative potential. You can absolutely do anything you set your mind to. And it's not bad to do things that make you wildly successful. It's not bad to not work hard. You don't have to work 80 hours a day, 9 days a week to have a fully functioning business. Figure out what works and give yourself the permission to focus on that. And the rest, as they say, is gravy. So that's her success story. That's just the first one I can think of. I don't know how much time we've got, but
No, that's beautiful. I love that. Well, we'll just move on to the next piece and just talk more about who is your ideal client and what do you strive to help them achieve, and what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you?
yeah, best kind of client is, of course, a business owner, one that has been on podcasts before and has not had results. There's lots of them out there. In fact, the people that have come to me, they were like, man, Fritz, I've been on like 83 podcasts. I haven't earned a dime off of it. And it's like, this is getting to be a recurring problem because I know there are some people out there that do guest on shows and it does work for them. What are they doing different that these other people who are flopping not doing? That's the problem I solve. So they are frustrated, but they haven't lost hope. They haven't been like, forget podcasting. It just doesn't work. It's a scam. If they're at that point, nah, they're not really ideal. But if they're like, this should work. There's something I'm obviously not doing right or enough of. Fritz has the answer. I want to talk to him. So, people that can share stories about themselves, like you said, I'm a storyteller. I gravitate towards storytellers. If they can understand themselves deeply enough to tease out a story about themselves or share a particular line of thought with other people in a way that other listeners are like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's like they're talking to me. It's like they're in my head. Wow, they really understand. Yeah, because they understand how to tell stories. Best way, well, and then what we do is the biggest way that we help them is we actually coach them on how to build their own communities because that's a really good low level way. Get people into a free community and you can upsell from there. And then we are coaching them as well on how to build offers, how to overcome sales blocks, things like that, how to, sell without becoming a sociopath. I mean, that's a legit concern that a lot of people have. Am I just going to not care about other people's feelings? Is that how you get rich? No. There's a way to go about doing it that doesn't compromise your principles. But then we do all the lead generation building on the back end as we're getting you booked on shows. Every show that we get you placed on, we go back and we say, hey, can you give us we talk to the host, can you give us the video? And then we'll clip it up. We'll share that on your socials. Every single clip is designed to guide people to a landing page where people can consume the whole episode, know what they're getting out of it, and take that call to action, which is usually your free community or a low ticket offer or a book or a PDF or something like that. Best way to get a hold of me is head over to podcastify.me. And I would invite you guys to come to my huddle. This is a weekly huddle. It happens on Mondays at 11 Central, which I don't know when this is going to go up, but it was just 3 hours ago, fam. You missed it. But what we actually do is the free arm of this is we pair people off in groups of two and they interview each other. So you get some good practice with interviewing and being interviewed. Send the recordings up to me. That's the raw information I need to start getting you booked on shows. That's all we can do for free because we've got a system that does it. But if you want the whole meal deal, we're going to have to charge. But that's what I do for people. It's so much fun. I geek out talking about this, man. And I know I'm rambling, but I don't care.
No, that's some powerful stuff. And then one thing that you didn't mention is you truly do teach people how to leverage podcasts to generate their next $100,000 in their business. And this isn't their first; it could be like their next through podcasting. And one thing about business is we have to bring awareness to what we do, because if no one knows who you are, then no one's going to know who you are, and you're going to have a hard time. So for those of you that are wanting to build a business and you're scared to talk about what you do, and one way to get good practice at it is through podcasting and showing up and building a community. And so I'd encourage anyone that's out there and do it. And so, all right, everyone out there. So if you guys heard about Michael Fritz use, what we call him Fritz, heard about Fritz, and you guys are interested in saying, hey, how can I help build a podcast? How can I build a community to help grow my business, to get more leads, to generate more sales, and to make that next $100,000 or $1 million inside of your business? Then go to podcastifyme.com. I'm sorry, podcastify.me. And that's podcastify.me. And then you can connect with Fritz and get part of his huddle, and then just kind of go through that process and see what you could do to add value. And so for everyone else out there listening, go to podcastify.me and make sure you guys refer your friends over to this video so that way they can gain some value as well. And until next time, Semper Fi.